Hi, I'm Gareth Marlowe. I want to talk today about crying. And this is something that we don't talk about very much at all in the workplace because it's a bit icky and squeamish, and the notion that as a manager you might have a conversation with an employee who starts crying that's like the worst thing that could possibly happen. Well, I want to try and sort of dispel some of that, really, because as a coach, I probably end up with people in tears on a coaching session, maybe once a week, once every 2 weeks. Now, it could be because I'm a really, really horrible person, but I don't think that's what's going on. So look, I'm not talking about tears because you've made somebody cry because you've been sort of not very nice to them. And actually, in this case, I'm not talking about kind of tears of I'm talking about those situations where you're in a conversation and then just it becomes too much for that person and the tears start coming. And this isn't something to be afraid of. It's really a sign that what you're talking about really deeply matters on a personal level to that person. You know, it's part of their values. This thing is really important. It really matters to me, and it's not right. I don't feel like I can do something about it, and it really matters to me. I don't feel like I'm able to control it, and it either might show up because of something specific, like just tears of frustration or distress because I just can't do anything about this and it's not going the way that I want. Or it might be just general overwhelm, stress. It's just all together too much. It's just too much to bear, and the tears start coming. Look, the first thing I want to say is that this is actually quite healthy. Okay, it's a good response for your body to have that kind of release, and getting to the point of tears and then getting beyond tears can often be something that sort of clears down the mind and it just kind of produces this moments of calm afterwards, which means that you can really start talking about the issue that's at hand. But what to do when it actually happens? And look, the first thing to do is just be a decent human being. You talking to somebody who's distressed, and the main things that's going to be going on with them in that moment will be, whatever is distressing them, plus the additional humiliation of the fact that they have lost control. Nobody likes to burst into tears in front of somebody else, particularly not in the workplace, and so this is quite a humiliating thing to do. So, rather than trying to urge to fix or to stop that person crying, or to do some intervention, or to sort of point out that they are, the reasons for them to be upset, or perhaps not justified, just let them cry, and just let that sort of process just slow down and come to its own conclusion. The second thing to do is, as soon as that's happened, the person very typically becomes very embarrassed about what's just happened. Again, just be a decent human being. All you have to do is sort of acknowledge what's just sort of happened, empathise for the fact that they feel upset, say, it doesn't matter to me, it's fine, here's a tissue, are you okay? And then immediately after that, what their minds are going to be going to is sort of, okay, I am now red-faced, puffy-eyed, tear-streaked, face, this is awkward. So, yeah, at that point, perhaps maybe you need to be just giving them the reassurance that whatever happens next, they're not going to be humiliated. So look, we can get you to the loos and get you calmed down and get you sort yourself out. Even better, if you can get somebody out of the building, if you can take the opportunity to nick down the back stairs and go and have a bit of a walk and talk about the thing, then that can really help as well. But I think the third thing to say is, in that situation, it's great data. It's really great information. It's telling you really at the heart of what is most important to that person and the way in which they perceive it. Now, it's a different question about whether or not those things should be that important. Measured how, or whether they are really as out of shape as that person feels that they are. But nevertheless, what they're experiencing is so fundamentally genuine to them that the tears have come, and that should be sending a really strong sign to you there that there is something there that's not a a third rail issue. That's not something that you shouldn't go there. That is somewhere where, look, you've gone all the way there, that person has dropped the barriers and been so vulnerable that they've cried in front of you, this is really worthwhile sort of pursuing and helping them to think about and helping you to understand what's going on, so that you can then help them to think about what the way forward is. So yeah, I don't see a lot of literature out there about tears and about these kind of emotions. They happen an awful lot in the workplace. They happen frequently in my kind of coaching conversations, but actually I suspect there's an awful lot of sort of quiet crying in the loo that takes place as well. So not something to be afraid of, something that's worth thinking about as a manager, about, you know, what are you going to do in that situation, but, you know, don't run away from it, embrace it and work with that person who is in that position. Okay, hopefully some of that has made some sense. I'm Gareth, and I'll see you next time.